All right, welcome back, everyone. After a very long time, Convo on the Shore is right at your speakers. I'm here with my man Leo. Leo, how are you?
I'm doing well. Great to be back again. Great to be back.
Yeah, it's been too long.
Been way too long, but that's all right, man. That's all right.
Yeah, sorry from my side. I was busy with so many things. And of course, it has been a lot of things going on in the Murakami world. But, most important thing is that we have time to sit down and talk about our books.
That's it.
So, how have you been? What have you been reading lately? How's life? Any new movies for us?
So,
Just tell us a bit.
uh, yeah, absolutely. So, life has just been, I guess, life. Being an adult. In the 30s. Trying to make sure everything's going good and trying to stay, you know, above water, treading water right now. But everything's been
Yeah,
going great, man. Life is just going good, and just in trying to enjoy the best I can every day, man. Every day. And so, but yeah, what I've been reading, I got it right here actually. Like I said before we started, I was telling you about like the murder mystery things I've been reading and
yeah.
so listening to. And so, one caught my eye called the Hosian Murders right here.
Hmm.
And so I picked this up.
Yeah.
I ordered it. Yeah, I ordered it maybe about a month ago, and I just started reading it after I finished what we're talking about today, actually,
Hmm.
Norwegian Wood. And so, yeah, that's what I've been reading, and it's kind of this like honed in, contained murder mystery that's happened in like the 1930s, and it's
Hmm.
nonfiction, or it was fiction, and it's pretty good, man. It's pretty good, and I think after this one, I think I'm gonna slow down on the murder mysteries for a bit.
Okay. I actually received some questions from some of our followers that have been asking because they have listened to our podcast very carefully,
Right.
and they had a question for us, and I guess I received it from 5 or 6 different people who have been asking, guys, are you only reading Japanese literature?
I know, I, I can't. I've been telling myself to, and I
Mhm,
was like, I need to try to get into something else right now. Find a different author, and I do have a bunch of books up there,
mhm,
and I guess how frequently I do read, like I feel like I could
mhm,
finish. Like I had something up there that I started, and it was not a Japanese author,
mhm.
and I saw like the whole mirror, like my Murakami side of my bookcase up there, and I was like, you know what, I can start one of these Murakami books and finish it within the next 2 to 3 weeks, and just go to my next book or go to the book I
Mhm,
was already started, because for some reason I like to start like 3 books at once for some reason. I don't know who I
mhm,
think I am, but I definitely do do that a lot, and I end up reading the full Murakami book and putting down the other book for a while. So I
mhm.
think to answer you guys' question, I would say yes, it's mostly with majority that I do read, but there's other things that is coming up for myself that I definitely need to uh, uh, revisit and finish.
Yeah, yeah. Same from my part. So the majority, if I have to tell you right out of my mind, the majority on my shelf is Japanese literature.
Right.
So uh, there's also some Korean literature right now, thanks to Han Kang, the vegetarian and white and so on. But a few weeks ago, I read Baldwin again. So
Okay.
Beale Street. I, not sure if you have read it. It's a wonderful book. There's also a movie about it.
Oh, Beale Street. I
Beale
know
Street.
yes. I definitely seen the previews for it, but I haven't seen the movie, and I didn't even read the. I didn't even know they had a book.
Mm. Yeah, it's a really good one. I can recommend it
Yeah.
to you. It's it's his typical style, right?
Right.
So, but this time he's telling a story of in a female perspective, right?
Right.
And but it's very interesting. I think one of the greatest authors you can read these
Okay.
days.
Well,
Yeah,
so it's good. Definitely have to pick up something now for the followers that's other than
yeah,
Murakami or Japanese authors for sure. So
yeah.
that's next step.
But that's the thing with Japanese literature. I know people have been asking, "Are you only reading Japanese literature?"
Right.
Yes, because it has a different vibe, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. And then I've also just watched a movie two times. Um, it's Evil Does Not Exist
Okay.
from Ryosuke Hamaguchi. And that's the guy who actually made Drive My Car.
Okay.
So, huge recommendation from my side. I love the film. It is very calm. It is a slow burner, but
Right.
it 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 has a plot, but the plot is just moving slowly, and
Right.
there's also a little twist at the end.
Okay.
People are thinking and discussing about it. But if you are into Japanese movies and if you have like Drive My Car, go for it. It's really a wonderful movie.
Okay.
Music by Eiko Ishibashi, and it's set in a small Japanese village, and it has this vibe again.
Right. Right. I'm gonna definitely have to check that out too. That sounds
Yeah.
it's
So,
already up my alley already.
and what we also didn't do for a long time is a trivia. So,
Well, it might be a little rusty.
I think you can. I got one for you. It's quite
Okay.
easy. I
All
guess you
right.
can reply to it. So, my today's question is: what is the next upcoming film based on a Murakami book?
Oh man.
It's in production right now, and I shared it a few weeks ago.
Oh, let's see if I. Oh man. I don't know. I might have to pull my Murakami card after this if I don't. uh, Sunny man. Oh boy. I might just come out and say it. What do I want to bring up? I'm just gonna bring up Dance Dance Dance.
No, it's not.
Okay.
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
Again,
All right.
it's a short story collection.
Okay. All right. So not Elephant Vanishes, is it?
No.
I think that was already. I don't know, man. I don't remember. I don't. That's when you got me.
Okay. It's after the quake.
After the quake. See, I haven't read After the Quake.
Okay.
That was. I think that's the only one in a few that I haven't picked up yet that I need to actually.
Right.
So I have not read After the Quake. Wait, yes, I have not. Okay, I got it mixed up with
Okay.
After Dark. Yes,
Yeah. It's after
yeah.
the quake. It's in production. Let me just pull this one out. It's actually made in Japan by a company that is called Bitter's End.
Okay.
Well, just a second. Ah, there it is. According to Variety, the next Murakami adaptation is already in post production after the quake. It's also produced by the man who produced Drive My Car, and the film contains four of the six short stories.
Yeah. See that I
Yeah,
gotta pick that up.
yeah. And the film will show the following stories: UFO in Kushiro, Landscape with Flatiron, All God's Children Can Dance, and Super Frog Saves Tokyo. So there is already a movie on All God's Children Can Dance, but the story has been adapted into the US, so from Japan into the US. And then I think there's also an adaptation of Super Frog Saves Tokyo in another movie, in Blind Willow Sleeping Woman, but it has not been released in Germany yet. I can't watch it. It's crazy. I can't find the film anywhere.
See, well, we'll talk about it today about the Norwegian Wood movie. I wanted to watch that
You
like a
didn't
couple.
yet?
No, I haven't seen it, but like after reading this again, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch the film, and I tried to look for
Mhm.
it on Amazon Prime and like rent it
Yeah.
or something, and it wasn't on there, which I'm really surprised because usually Amazon Prime usually has kind of more or less of a collection of films you can rent, and it didn't have it on there, so I was
Mm.
kind of disappointed. So
Yeah. I watched it 5 years ago, and I
right,
gave it another watch this week because you told me let's talk about Norwegian Wood.
right,
And the film is okay.
It's okay. I've
It's
watched a
okay.
few reviews, yeah, and they weren't
Yeah,
too hyped about it as well as much.
yeah, because
Yeah.
it misses something of the story we will talk about today, right?
Okay.
It's well written. It has good actors. No, the cinematography is beautiful,
Right.
but it lacks something that we had in the book. But we will dive into
Mm,
this later.
gotcha.
And just another trivia: though, there's an actress in this film who plays the character of Reiko. We will talk about her later.
Okay.
And this actress was also a major part in Drive My Car.
Okay.
So she's some kind of the Murakami actress.
Right.
All right, but let's not waste too much time. Let's talk
Yes.
about
Yes.
Norwegian Wood.
Norwegian Wood.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about this book.
So where to start? So I guess we dive right into a story. It's this young boy, and I would say he's about what is it, in his teens, his late teens, about to go into college to start his years in the university. And let me see, actually, how it starts. Yeah.
It
So
starts in an airplane, I guess, and then
yeah,
he
yeah. It
remembers
starts in
his
an
time
airplane.
on college. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So he does a lot. Well, you don't see it too much in there, I guess, where he's like having a lot of like backstory and stuff. It tells it kind of the whole story right the full way. So, but yeah, yeah. It starts off in the plane, and yeah, we get into his years as he's walking with a girl, and I forgot what her name was too. Unfortunately,
Naoko.
Naoko. Yes,
Yeah.
and that's his friend's girlfriend, if I'm not mistaken, his best friend's girlfriend, and they have a connection, through him, and so they're just walking, and I kind of let me see if I remember how much that put that in there, the beginning part. So, yes, 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 he moves to the dormitory. I guess he said he was 20. I don't know. I might be wrong on his
Yeah,
age.
20. Yeah, yeah.
20, yeah,
And they're walking around, and or she has been in a relationship with one of his
yes,
best friends who committed suicide.
yes, yes, yes. I
Yeah.
think it was on his motorcycle, if I'm not mistaken, or what did he do? He
He sat in the car and let the
got in the
gas
car.
slip into the car. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's what he did, and so that I think that happens in the middle. Well, not in the middle. I think in the beginning of it, where they're talking and doing all that. So like the beginning parts when he's like going to college and stuff like that. It's kind of getting you set in to like the kind of the vibe. And I think it's in I would say the late. It starts out in the late 1960s, and
Yeah,
so
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So we're getting that vibe about like in that time around that time is like the whole I think the nationalists, a lot of anti-government,
Yeah,
uh,
student
uh
movements. Yeah.
yes, yes, action going on. So it's a time where a lot of revolts on campus and stuff like that. So we get our character, what's his name,
Toro. Yeah.
Toru, yeah, going on to college and dealing with that, and like he's just this, I don't know. He starts out, he's just this monotone kind of just character throughout. Like it's
Mhm.
just a Murakami special when it comes to a lot of his male characters. It's just yeah, yeah, and so like I said, man, we're thrown into like his university and like the whole um him dealing with relationships in his life with Naoko, and yeah, it's just like he doesn't have anything special going on. Like he's not like this A+ student. He's not like this
Mhm.
tremendous athlete. He is just, I'm going through life just normal as possible, and anything that happens happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen kind of way. And so that's how we get introduced kind of more into our character.
Yeah, very shy, reclusive character, reading books all
Yeah,
day and not partying at all, and
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And he had a girlfriend before, but it was just some sort of teenage love, nothing real. And he and Naoko meet again at university after one year after the friend has died.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they start
So they
walking around, right?
yeah, they start walking around, and I think he tells him, so he's like getting settled into university and stuff, and he has this roommate. I guess they call him, his nickname is Stormtrooper, which
Yeah.
is like the running joke in there for a while. And he's just like this erratic kind of individual. His roommate, Stormtrooper, in the dormitories. So he's like up early in the morning, I guess, doing the calisthenics.
Yep.
If I remember over there in Japan, they have like an early morning kind of like show or radio station. I don't know if it's still going on, if they still do it. I'm sure they probably do. Where
As far
it's
as I
like,
understood,
yeah,
it's because his dorm is led by a quite far right organization,
yes,
nationalist organization,
right,
and they
yes,
do this every morning. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Yeah. And he does it every morning, and he gets just really just kind of just aggravated with dude. I guess everybody in the dorm was kind of aggravated with this guy.
yeah,
So a stormtrooper, as they call him, he's very, like I said, very neat freak, which Toru is not really too upset about that. It keeps it,
mm,
everything good. So we're just thrusted into kind of this everyday. Well, I mean, I won't say every day. Back dormitory life. Like I said, when I
yeah,
was in school, I was in it with a bunch of just guys and stuff like that, and so we're
hmm,
just thrown into that. And um, with this right here, it's like it's starting it. It's like this mundane kind of day to day stuff. You're getting introduced to the characters, and which is amazing too, which is great. And it's just day to day stuff,
hmm,
and you're like I said, you're meeting them, and you're I don't know, like it's just you're just thrusted into this, and it's so just like I said, straight forward for a while, for a bit,
yeah,
and you're meeting these other characters, like his other friend there at the dormitory. Don't remember his name. I think he was a little bit older, and he's like a senior, and he's this guy who cool guy wants to go out, meet women, and drink, and brings Toru along with him, and Toru goes along with it just because it's just something to do, basically. And
yeah,
so we're just introduced to Toru, like I said, man, in the beginning, like he's just, well, whatever happens, happens kind of guy, or like he's just like hole that's inside of him that he's not trying to feel, but at the same time, it feels like that he needs to feel, he wants to. And
hmm,
so we're not really like, I guess we can guess at that moment in time if he's in love with, Naoko or not, or if it's just like, Murakami's great at that. Like we could sit here and speculate as much, but it's just normal. I guess it's normal, kind of just dating relationships you may have with somebody,
yeah,
and we can sit here. It's up in the air. We could just speculate that for the longest time. So we get into that, and after his best friend commits suicide, it's kind of more of like a somber. They're kind of detached from each other, and so she decides to move away. I think she goes to a sanitarium or something like that, and he loses all contact with her. And so they're
yeah,
writing letters to one another for a while, and I think she ends up stopping writing letters to
hmm,
him, and so he gets a little bit more, I don't know, deeper into himself. I guess he's
hmm,
lost like the only connection that is keeping him already grounded as he is, like more grounded. So he's just more lost and just like out there than anything else. And
hmm,
so he'll go out with his friend, the older gentleman, and we'll go out and be with women and drink and all this other stuff, and then come back and then do his studies, and just keeps this mundane, straightforward, just like here's what I'm doing, and
yeah,
it kind of lifestyle. And so that happens for a while, and then like, but we get introduced to another character,
hmm.
the other female in there, and if I remember her name again, it is
Midori.
Midori. Yes, and
Yeah,
she is definitely the complete opposite of what he is as well.
hmm,
More eccentric, more outgoing. Says what's on her mind, very much so. And but she says so much stuff on her mind that's really just insane stuff sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
in there with the things she talks about and like that she has thoughts about.
Mm-hmm.
So Toru meets her, and so I guess they start to hang out. And these relationships back in the day, they're like she has a boyfriend, and he doesn't know if he's with. I guess at that point, like he's not with Naoko. He's just he loves her. He wants to be with her. They just have a tight knit, like kind of
Yeah.
friendship. Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, like Midori's this eccentric woman. She's very, outgoing, and she
Mm.
takes a liking to Toru.
Yeah.
And so, from there on, they go out, they hang out, and he's just the same person through. Just the same mundane. Like, yeah, it's fine, everything's cool, and she just loves. I guess I don't know, just is intrigued by him,
Mm.
and so and you're just reading it, and maybe like a lot of people when it comes to Murakami, they're waiting for like a something this like magical thing to happen, or this
Mm.
a huge twist, but it doesn't. Like it's just
Mm.
a story, and there's nothing that like jumps out of the page, up until maybe a little bit later. um
Mm.
and so we're just getting this just story with these teenage, well, these young adults, and they're just living their day-to-day lives, and especially like I said in the late 1960s, early 70s, at a time where self-expression was you know
Mm.
everything, and so we're getting more, I don't, I don't know. Like at first, like I said, like you're waiting. Like my second time reading this right here,
Mm.
and up until that point, I'm like, wow. Like it's just like the expectations of it, and it's like I won't say your expectations are like lowered when it comes to it. It's just
Mm.
like I said, when reading Murakami, you think like something you're about to see something or read something that's like going to like blow your mind or like change it. But no, this
Mm.
isn't it. Like I don't even call this like a love story either. Like it's just a I don't you can, but what would you say? Like it's just this like this contained kind of.
You know, I would say it's a very honest story
Yeah,
because it simply shows how people act. Uh, I can see this in the duality of all of this because if you compare these passages where Naoko and Toru just wander around at the beginning,
right,
they create this bond 1 year after their friend has died because they didn't have a reason to be befriended before. They were just friends because of the friend that has died,
right,
and I guess they just try to fill a gap because, as far as I understood, and Naoko admits at the end that she had a very special bond to her boyfriend,
right.
and he's gone, right? And
Yeah,
she's alone in the city, and they often describe these walks and wanderings like they're not talking all the time. They simply just walk together through the city, and Toru isn't even quite nervous about finding a subject to talk to her about.
right,
And she's also fine with that. They don't talk. They just need each other's presence to get some sort of feeling and emotion. And once they get closer, because they get closer on her birthday, right?
right,
So they sleep with each other, and then she leaves without any notice, right?
right,
And a few weeks later, or a few months later, I guess it takes 2 or 3 months until she reacts. She writes him a letter that she is in the sanatory, right?
right.
And Toru again fills the gap with his older friend. I guess his name was Nagasawa, right? Nagasawa.
Yes, yes. Okay, yeah,
Yeah. And then he meets Midori, who is the exact opposite of Naoko, right? She's talkative, outgoing. And even if Toru himself is not that talkative, he talks different. He talks different than he used to talk with Naoko. And Midori seems to have a great effect on him, right? So
right,
he's more outgoing, he talks more, and he also talks more about himself. And before that, he had to find a subject to talk about with Naoko. He always used the same hook to make her a little bit happy. He talked about Stormtrooper and he
Yes.
tried to make her laugh somehow, right?
Right.
But still, they had this grief about their dead friend. And that's something really humane, I guess. I don't think that they are friends because they love each other before.
Right.
In the first place, they are friends just to fill a gap. And then they start to develop feelings. And Toru is just torn apart between these two girls. On one side, he has Naoko, he has to care about, and there he's more in the protective role. He acts more like a protective friend. And with Midori, he just can be himself and doesn't need to take care about anything,
Right.
right? And he, I guess he didn't develop any feelings for Midori, or he's torn apart. Do I love her or not? Or do I love Naoko or not? It's just because he has feelings for Naoko because he has to protect her. It's not because he admires her. I don't think so.
Mm.
And that's the thing that blocks him to get more intimate with Midori.
Right.
I don't know what you think, but that's my
Yeah.
impression.
Yeah. I think there's a. I don't think he knows. I think
Hmm.
there's a part of him to where like, and it like happens like later on in the book, extending himself out either way. Is difficult for him, and
Mm.
I don't think he understands that. The with Naoko, it's I don't think he expresses that there's something there. I guess we don't like hear him like specifically say that. It's just like that is it's like known, or that's something that we should think about or something like that. And then when it comes to Midori, it's like it's stretching him to another point to where it's like, well, it doesn't specify that he enjoys being with her, but they'll like hang out with each other. So, and that's another
Hmm.
part, which is on the opposite side, is we have to think that, or like we have to come to our observation maybe when it comes to
Hmm.
these two on different like spectrums of their relationship,
Hmm.
but also we know that like his connection with Naoko is if you want to call it special, and like you said, it was because of their friend, that how they were together. They had that connection because of the friend who passed away. But like you said, like it was a constant grieving, for both of them.
Hmm.
And with Naoko was a little bit more, detrimental with her, because in one part of the book, she was saying that like they were, her and his friend were like they grew up together, and it was a special connection that they had to stay together the whole time.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it was just out of basic, I guess, necessity, and it was
Yeah.
that connection. And that's why I think, like you said, they are together. They are, whatever you want to use the word together as, they are. It's that bond that they share together, that
Yeah.
their friend passed away, and it's just, I don't know. I think it's very interesting without using the word. It's easy to word. Oh, he loves her, and I was like, yeah, he very well could love her, but but you got to take into feeling like account her feelings too, because she hasn't specified anything of that.
Hmm.
And it's just like, I won't say it's airy either, because I feel like I use the word a lot, but it's like this
Hmm.
thinking process of like, okay, so what is going to happen next? And that, like I said, she goes off to the sanitarium, and I think I'm saying it right, sanatorium. I forgot what it was.
I'm not sure either, but
Yeah. I don't know. I should say crazy house, but she goes to, I say, a hospital, for
hmm,
for her, nervousness and stuff like that. So, um, and so, like I said, he's lost after that. He's lost, and so
he's totally lost. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, he's starting to live the whole, college lifestyle, and like we
Hmm.
talked about, and so he's just moving along, and so, like I say, he's going on these escapades with his, his friend, and so, and then the notes come in, and so well, from Naoko, and expressing her, apologizing for not being able to speak with him over the time and send him letters, and so he gets an invitation to come visit her.
Yeah.
So, and that's the next part that we're getting into. And so you meet, so he goes, and so you end up meeting, like I said, another character in there. It was a special character. Her basically her caretaker, and she's, meeting a Reiko.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah. And Reiko also has a past. She's a little bit older than these two. I guess she was a teacher, right?
yeah. She was a piano, or she was started out. I remember her story. She started out as a
Yeah. Sorry,
prodigy. Yeah,
musical. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
yeah, and she was doing piano and all this stuff, and I think she ended up kind of just losing her mind or something like that had happened, and
Hmm.
couldn't continue, doing it. So she ended up teaching piano lessons.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes,
And she's some sort of mentor for both, right? At the beginning, only for Naoko, but she uh, she develops contact with Toru more, and
yes,
yeah, because I think she is intentionally taking the role of the mentor because she can see how dependent they are from each other, or
right.
especially how dependent Naoko is from him. And yeah, she tries to advise both of them, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. So when Toru's there, she's outgoing as well too. After
Hmm.
and she's been admitted to the same place, but she took, like I said, took more, like you said, more of a mentor role, and she
Hmm.
chooses to stay there, at the hospital to help out others, especially Naoko. And man, her story is like, and this is where I my first time reading it, I didn't remember, so which is great. So I read Norwegian Wood probably like 3 or 4 years ago,
Hmm.
and forgot about like her story. And when she finally like when she was opening up the tour, so they take walks and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And so while Naoko's in there, kind of just doing her thing, she gets nervous, really quickly.
Yeah.
And so they decide to take a walk, and Reiko opens up and tells her story about why she's
Hmm.
there. And God, man, like it's such a specific, intricate, insane story that she brings up that happens to her, and why she's kind of there.
Hmm.
And I don't want to spoil that moment for anybody, because it's it's crazy. I remember I was telling my girl about that, so I had her read that scene for herself, and
Hmm.
it's just like it's so specific, and a wild story. I don't know how Murakami came up with that, or it's just that, and why, but it enriches the character, enriches Reiko, and like you're just like, whoa. Now I was like, I put the book down. I'm like, I'm involved in this.
Hmm.
I'm reading this, and it's like I feel for her, I feel for these characters. Like it's like I'm right there sitting next to them while she's telling that story about what happened to her. Like I'm there with them, just listening into it as well.
Maybe you can give us a hint.
Give you a hint. Oh,
Yeah.
where to start? So, she is tutoring another young prodigy while doing piano lessons. And she is a very mature, I would say 13, 14-year old. I'm trying to, and she is very headstrong, and she indulges herself into actions that are
Mm.
very inappropriate. And so it leaves Reiko shocked and very just insecure, and to the point to where like she loses, she had a wife, or she had a husband, and I think she had a child
Mm.
too, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
Yeah, and he loved her, and so but it got to the point where she was like, I can't do this anymore, I'm not good for you, you should move on, basically.
Mm.
And she admits herself to the hospital, man, and she's been there ever since. And it might seem like that she's got everything together, but she doesn't leave the campus at all.
Mm.
um and so she's just there, just taking care of Naoko, and they're doing like various activities, like I think they're tending the garden and stuff. that. And um, what else do they do? I know she plays music. She's like, and that's one big part of it. She's a guitar
Mm.
player and stuff like that. So they're in there, whenever they come back from their excursion. It just then they're like listening to music, and she's just playing the
Hmm.
guitar, plays Norwegian Wood, you know, and so. But yeah, yeah, it just gets to that point, and like I said, at that point, like for myself personally, I'm just, I would like your opinion on that. I'm just so enthused, like I'm just so into
Mm.
the story, and it's I'm like, this is completely. You're not. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, and you're just enthused. I'm just sucked into it, and you just got to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you remind or let me put it differently. Did you think of South of the Border, West of the Sun while reading this book?
yeah. Actually, I did. Like I said, that south of the border is my favorite, and
Hmm.
it's like I said, the grounded realism is probably
Yeah.
my favorite kind of reading material, especially like stuff like this. Well, now it's like I get, you know, yeah, yeah. I thought of south of the border, and it's just that tight kind of like I'm there, like I'm right into it. I'm right here. This is things we can experience as well too, you know,
Hmm.
and you know, yeah, yeah, yeah. It brought that up. You're right, exactly right. Yeah. Mhm.
Because I always, if someone's asking me, I always say, if you like Norwegian Wood, you're gonna love South of the Border, West of
Yeah.
the Sun, because South of the Border is sort of the more mature version of this one,
Yes.
and both are these grounded stories with characters looking for love, but torn apart between responsibility and
Right.
emotion, right? Uh, but when I first read Norwegian Wood, it devastated me to be
Right.
honest. But it it's a really sad story. It has so many sad passages. It deals with mental issues. It deals with death. It deals with depression. But another thing is, it has this bittersweet humor in parts, and this is what makes you smile again, right?
Right.
So I'm always saying this reading this book feels like laughing while crying, you know,
Yeah.
and this is something that the movie lacks because we talked about the movie at the very beginning.
Right.
So the movie has a very dark mood and it can't transport the subtle humor from the book.
Right.
It's extremely melancholic, right? And this book also it is a melancholy itself. This book is a melancholy itself, but
Yes.
especially the part where I think we can talk about it. It's this major thing that happens, right?
Yeah.
When Naoko is gone, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. And yeah. 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 Yeah.
and he wanders around through Japan, right?
Right.
So he's on some sort of a pilgrimage. He wanders around and he gets sucked into this melancholy. And
Yeah.
this part
Yeah.
is a really sad part, right?
It is.
But
It is. Yeah.
is extremely, and the film is 90% of this, right?
Oh,
So the
really?
film has this mood, right? It's an extremely sad, melancholic, calm movie. But the book doesn't spend too much time on the sadness itself. It still has a subtle humor. There are little jokes, right?
Right.
There are things like Stormtrooper
Right.
or the dialogues between Midori and Toru,
Right.
which are very organic, right? And I will say this book is extremely sad, yes, but still it leaves you with a lot of hope.
Yes. Yes. I mean, especially like you said, like bringing up Naoko's death. It is. It actually comes like I just like opened it up the other day and looked at it. It comes late in the book. Like
Yeah.
it's really late in the book. I had like 30 pages, maybe less after that, because before that you're getting well for a while. So beforehand, Toru, when he goes and visit, I think he visited her again. He might have visited her once, if I'm not mistaken, maybe twice. He
Mm.
wanted to get an apartment with her. He was, saving up and getting like another job to be able to
Mhm.
save for an apartment, and he said, Naoko, I want you here with me. And she basically says, are you going to be able to handle me and handle, all the
Yeah.
things that I'm going through? He's like, yes, he would definitely do it. So he waits for her. He waits. He writes letters, and come to find out that Naoko or Reiko is writing back for her. Is she's doing
Mm-hmm.
worse? I think she got really admitted to a hospital, actual hospital,
Mm.
and they were helping her out. And so, at this time, I think Toru's running around, just hanging out still with Midori, and you're
Mm.
starting to feel with that, like that he does have he enjoys her. He definitely
Yeah.
does, but it's not to the point to where she wants to enjoy him, or that how she wants him to enjoy her. And so
Mm.
I think at that point she gives him an ultimatum. It's either
Mm.
you want to be with me or be with her, basically. And he's still kind of confused. He said, kind of basically wait for me, to figure it out. And I don't know much woman who would wait like that, but she definitely
Yeah.
does. And so, we're getting letters back and reading about, Naoko Reiko's writing for her. And so,
Mm.
we get this next letter saying, like, basically, our hopes are up. She's doing better. And
Mm.
the next, like, chapter over, it starts, and like, there's no, and you're talking about the highs and lows and the melancholiness. Like, at this point, you think it might be a little high. Like, it's getting, he's got his
Yeah.
job, he has his own apartment and stuff like that. All right, we're getting to the next step of, his life,
Mm-hmm.
adulthood. And like, it just right out the gate, and it's like past tense almost, Naoko's death, you know,
Mm.
and we get this, explanation on how she passed away. She comes back to the, to the, the sanitarium, and she's fine, I guess. And then, like, what's also interesting about that too, she tells Reiko that she doesn't want to be with um Toru, basically.
Mm.
She says, me and you can get an apartment together. And I don't know. That's very interesting because, I mean, it was implied that they were going to, and like, kind of, Naoko was going with her wanting to be with um Toru, but it's just that, like, it's right in the middle with them. There's a barrier right there, and it's a small
Yeah.
sliver of a barrier, but she pulls away, basically. And yeah, and then after that, like, she tells I think she tells Reiko, save her clothes, or she can keep her clothes. And I think she
Mm.
went into the woods, and hung herself.
Yeah.
And then that was just it. And it's just the pressure, man, the
Yeah.
load of pressure of, like you said, the melancholy, the death, the whole, just, man, young adulthood is, it's a process, man. It's a process of everybody
Yeah.
has to go through, man. It's like some more intensely than others, and
Mm.
in this, like, it's just heavy on the heart, like you said, the highs and lows. And it's mostly, it's a lot of lows. It's just like, it's straightforward, and then it's down, and then it goes back up a little bit, and then it's down, and then you hear that, like, it's just like, oh man, it's a you want him to figure it out,
Yeah.
and like, there gets to parts in there where I'm annoyed with him as well. It's just like, man, like, figure it out, dude. You got to figure this out, man. It's like, but
Yeah.
that's like a young adulthood, and it is
Mm-hmm.
like constantly going through emotions, and constantly saying, like, this is what I'm going to do, and nothing's going to stop me, or here's what I'm not going to do, and no one's going to make me do it.
Mm.
There is no, like, I don't know. It's either right or left, black or white. There's no, like, you know what, I'm going to try to do this. It's either, yeah, I don't know. It's just that the
Yeah.
teenage love, young love, and it's just like this. Yeah, yeah, man. It's just that ebb and flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I also think that Toro and Naoko are just too different, right? They love differently because I think she's more of a person who is like, I want to become a part of you, and you will
Right.
become a part of me. And Toro is just, well, like, he still hasn't find himself. He's still looking for himself to find
Right.
out what type of person or what type of man am I? And because he looks up to his friend, for example, he says, I don't need to be like him. It's not my type to go out and date a lot of girls, but still
Right.
he does because he's looking for answers for himself, right?
Right.
Midori is also quite shaped, I think. She's quite mature for her age. She knows how to take responsibility because uh, she lives quite alone. Her dad left to Uruguay, and he meets a lot of persons that are already very grounded and know how to live. But still, he's on a great search, I think, and
Right.
that's what makes the chemistry between Naoko and him quite difficult because she wants to rely on him. He's not sure if he can give her the support. He tries to show his support, but I think he's not ready himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this
Absolutely.
is what Naoko already understands. She already understands Toru, and she knows he
Yeah.
won't be able to give me the support that I need. And there are so many people gone in my life already. My former boyfriend, and later turns out her sister is also dead.
Mm.
And now the only person she has in her life, who is Toru, won't be able to give her the support she
Right.
needs. And this is what pulls her down at the end. I think this is what gives her the rest. Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
No. Hmm.
yeah, she's a very, very rich character, I think.
Yeah.
One of the strongest character he has ever written.
Hmm. Yeah. And all these,
Right.
I mean, all these characters are just fleshed
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
and in this, like, like, I won't say it's short, but it's a very, tight knit kind of a
Mhm.
novel. But all the characters in there are
Yeah.
fleshed out. Like, we didn't even like get the
Totally.
chance to speak about like more about what was the other girl's name again? I'm sorry, I've been not Naoko,
Midori.
Midori, and her father specifically.
Yeah.
He's in the hospital is what we have that whole,
Yeah.
and he's dealing with I'm not sure, a brain tumor or a brain injury or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
She goes in and treats him, takes care of him and
Mm.
stuff like that. And I don't know, and this is like and it's great too, like how you just get this slight change in Toru. I won't say change in Toru because it's probably always been there, but we
Mhm.
just coming to like his surface is, you know, he says like basically, and it's so Murakami. He tells Midori while she's in there taking care of her father. He said, "You know what? I've seen you kind of tired. Go ahead and leave, and
Mhm.
maybe take a walk around like the park or something like that. Just kind of um um just take some time off, and I'll help, And he's only been in
Mhm.
there with him, seeing her, take care of her father, like feed him and things like that, and maybe change a bedpan or something like that for him. And he goes and does that, and
Mm.
he does it for her, for him, and it's just like I said, it's not a change in character. It's just coming to the surface on what kind of individual he is, and
Mhm.
he takes a liking to Midori's father, and he's just this scene that's set up that Midori is asking her father, want to eat, do you need to eat these fruits, you need to eat this, he doesn't want to,
Mm.
and then
Mm.
like Toru like has like a fresh cucumber, and he cuts it up and puts it in, I forgot what he puts it in, miso or soy, something like that.
Yeah, I'm not
And
quite sure. Yeah.
he asked, Midori's father if he wants some of it, and he takes it. And so they have this. It's a small, short amount of time, but a bond with each other,
Mm.
and it just heightens, his character. It's just like, what is going on? He just randomly wants to just take care of his father. And he does it, without any
Yeah.
if, ands, or buts. And so it just creates more of a, intricate moment with Toru. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. Now, talking about Midori, did you know that many guys have a crush on her? Most of
Yes.
the readers.
Most of the readers have a question. I don't think I read that
Because
yet.
every time I post something about Norwegian Wood, a
Yeah,
reel or something like rate your favorite character,
it's
it's like
Madonna.
uh, that's my girl. I love Midori, and in Midori, lovers here.
Hey, she is a great character, man. I give her that.
She
There were some
is. She
scenes I got
is.
a little bit annoyed with her, but I can see why.
I love her dialogues. She's a
Right?
great character.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Midori
She
is
would.
so cool. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, man, she is a great character, man. She really heightens the whole like it brings the mood up for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
in there, and it's definitely needed. It's definitely needed, and so. But yeah, and Toru is just like I said, taking care of her father and doing all that, and she's
Mhm.
amazed by it too. And so, I think she's starting to kind of have different feels for him as well. At first, it was like, excuse me, I don't know if she felt it like he was like a little plaything or something like that, or
Mhm.
just interested in him. His melancholy
Mhm.
kind of state. I guess that aura just radiates off him to where like he brings people towards him and stuff like that, and just kind of just
Yeah.
I don't know, just want to know more about him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same. Can we talk about some of the quotes of the book? Because I think this book has some of the most beautiful quotes.
yeah. Go ahead, man. Mm.
So the one is quite at the beginning. If you only read the books that everyone else is reading, you can only think what everyone else is thinking.
Oh my god.
Do, do you remember this one?
Who said that? It was at the beginning. You said.
Yeah.
I know no Toru didn't say that. I don't know.
It's from Nagasawa.
Nagasawa,
When
his friend. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is when they talk about reading and so on. And Nagasawa is an avid reader, just like Toru. And
Right. Yeah, and that's how they
yeah, they
became
talk
friends.
about
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's
Hmm.
a good one. And what I also love is what happens when people open their hearts. They get better.
Reiko. Yes.
Beautiful,
Beautiful. Yes. Yes. Yes.
beautiful. And then one we got here one that's it's Murakami can be a very romantic guy.
Right.
It's like I want you always to remember me. Will you remember that I existed and that I stood next to you here like this?
Oh man, that's some brownie points right there to use that.
Yeah, yeah. Or
So
like
that was that Midori. Midori said that, or Naoko.
Naoko
Yeah,
said
yeah,
that.
yes, yes.
Yeah. And also like I was always no, sorry. We got this one. Sorry. I was always hungry for love. Just once I wanted to know what it was like to get my fill of it. To be fed so much love I couldn't take anymore. Just once.
Beautiful, man. I don't know where he comes up with this stuff, but that's beautiful.
I, that's something that needs to pop up in your mind. I mean, how can how? Just like
Right.
how? Or like despite your best efforts, people are going to be hurt when it's time for them to be hurt.
That's Reiko, man. I can just pinpoint those. He just that eloquent and just writing, eloquently said, and oh man,
Yeah,
and you definitely have to go through things to be able to say something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this book was also the reason for him to leave Japan because
Really? Yeah.
that's one book that made him like he was known before, but this
Right.
one just made him famous, and it started that people labeled him as a romantic author, and that's
Right.
something he never wanted to be, right? And there are also some stories that people started to mock him, right?
Hmm.
When they saw him, like they were quoting his book and like you're such a romantic guy, ha ha ha. And then he left Japan and he lived in Italy for a while, and he started to write Dance Dance Dance. And Dance
Right.
Dance Dance is such a different book. It's just like Murakami to the fullest, right?
Yeah.
And I think he wrote off all his anger.
And dance.
I mean, compare Dance 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 to Norwegian Wood. It's like two
Yeah.
different
Oh
worlds.
yeah, that's two different universes going on there. So yeah,
Totally.
he definitely had to get it off right there.
Yeah. So I think we can rate this book right now. I'm
Okay.
really interested how you would rate this book if you
Uh,
need to let's say how can we rate this Uh, Maybe in trees.
And trees. All right. All
Yeah,
right. That's
5
perfect.
trees maximum, 1 minimum.
One minimum. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go. Oh man, I know, and like not to backtrack too much. I know this one right here. I see on the Reddit where a lot of people aren't. This is not a people aren't a big fan of Norwegian Wood, or it's like a lot more confusing to them than anything else. And I think they're probably reading too
On
much.
Reddit?
Yeah. I've seen a couple of passages on there, and you know,
Oh, that's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. I think they're kind of wanting more, like I guess, push to it,
Mm.
which I can be understand. Like if you're coming, especially whatever you're reading prior before that of Murakami, and then you read this, it could be very, a shift change for sure. But
Mhm.
yeah, out of 5 trees, let me see. Mm, After reading this second time, I mean, not I'm a quit pandering. I'm gonna give it three. I'm gonna give it 3 trees. 3 trees.
3 trees.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
How about you? Yes.
So this one is always in my top 5,
Yes.
to be honest, because as I told you, it's some sort of, it opens up your heart a little bit.
Right.
It makes you warm and it shows you that you still have emotions, even if you think that you're stone cold, but it's not. And the thing is, the older you get, the more emotional you become, right? This is something very personal, I'm telling you right now, but I'm crying on things I used to love before
Right.
because
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. I'm getting 37 in a few weeks, but
So I'm right behind you, man. Or not 37,
yeah.
but my birthday's right behind yours.
But I'm becoming more sensitive. I'm getting more
Yeah.
emotional.
Yeah.
It's like it may sound ridiculous, but if I see a
No.
reel, I
Yeah.
just saw a reel with a guy who didn't see his daughter for a few hours, and they're hugging each
Yeah.
other like, oh, and I'm like
Right.
I'm like shedding a tear. I think, oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, man. I've
I don't
definitely been there. Yeah.
I
I
don't
like.
have I don't have kids. I only have nephews. That's it.
Right.
Because and the thing is, when you see this, it provides you a melancholic feeling of something you didn't witness yet. And
Yes.
this is the same with Norwegian Wood. It's like it feels like you're following them on their walks and their talks, and it has this melancholic feeling of the time that has already passed.
Mm,
More than 50 years right now. It
right.
is set in the late 60s,
Yeah.
but it feels like you have been there, right?
Yes.
And I think I love this melancholic feeling of this book, and this is why it receives 4.5 from me.
4.5. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I really love it. It it has some elements of a teenage drama at parts, but
Yes.
still the talks they have are very mature.
Mm.
And
I guess that's where
you
with
can,
myself that it it's not it won't it's not for because I love it. I love it, but I think that's why I think I like more of
mhm,
South of the Border,
mhm,
kind um
mhm,
kind of situation. But this definitely does not take away from the gravity of, and I would say this is more heavier and the gravitational pull than South of the Border is. South of the Border seems
mhm,
like more of a, like I said, the individual in there is more of a confused kind of just adult. This one is young adults moving through life and going through situations that are very heavily dramatic, for
mhm,
anybody and as a young adult going through
mhm,
deaths, going through just like a college social system still at that it's still
mhm,
at that time too. It's a very just the whole world's looking at you, and especially in Japan, like God, man, like the way these children have to go through classes,
mhm,
take entrance exams to get into high school, take entrance exams to get into college, and and the way these kids can be shunned, or these kids can be just looked at as like you're not going to be a part of society in any type of
mhm,
good good way. And so this right here kind of it's its own hub of the world, and just everything is enriched. Everything's enriched.
Mm,
The
mhm,
like you said, man, like, and you're walking with them at the beginning. As soon as it starts, you're walking with them, with Toru and Naoko. Like, you're beside them, just with them, and you're with all these characters every step of the way. And like I said, it's such a tight knit novel
mhm,
that, like, my second time, and especially like you were talking about, like going through the motions with it. Like, I read this 4 or 5 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago, I was, not didn't go through things that I went through in the span of the 4 or 5 years till now.
mhm,
And having those themes in there about, relationships, having those themes about, death, and just that, like, it fills you up more with those
yeah,
emotions.
yeah,
And you're right, you're exactly right. And that's why, like, maybe then I didn't think about this book too much, because I just got done reading probably Hardboiled Wonderland or something
yeah,
like that. Or, uh um or just Killing Commodore or something like that, to come to, this. And then now to, like, man, you hit it right on the nose. The emotions, the feelings, like, I don't know, you just gotta. But yeah, yeah, as I mean, you're watching, you're listening to these teens go through it. But as an
mm,
adult now, you do get filled more with just emotional, just, oh man, it's everywhere, and it's
yeah,
heavy melancholiness. That's what I love melancholiness themes so much.
yeah,
And this brings it to, like, heightens it to, like, the 10th degree. And
yeah,
so man, yeah, yeah, you're exactly right with the emotional standpoint, for sure.
yeah. And
Mm,
you said it beautifully. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
thank you, thank you.
It's it's a great book. It's really a great book. What I got out of all these comments online is that many people love it because I did a giveaway a few weeks ago for the English version, and
Right,
so many comments like, "I love this book so much. It was my
yeah,
start into Murakami's world and one of my most favorite books ever," and so on. I think it has a huge fan base, but for all those who read the more magical realism stuff,
right,
it's more it's not their favorite cup of tea, I guess.
right,
They prefer South of the Border more, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think then we're good with Norwegian Wood.
Yeah, yeah, I'm glad we didn't spoil it too
Yeah,
much, 'cause there's a few things in
yeah,
there, tropes, and especially with his friend Nagasawa, who's
yeah,
an
exactly.
interesting character himself. And
Yeah,
man, I won't get too deep into it, because I hope, the listeners and readers will pick that up and go through it,
mm,
especially his relationship with Toru a lot more, and
mm.
his relationship with his girlfriend is very, very interesting as well
Yeah,
too. So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, exactly. What was her name again? Hatsumi, right? Hatsumi. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so for everyone who hasn't read Norwegian Wood yet, read it. It's a really, really great, emotional and sensitive book. Yeah.
absolutely.
So, what are we discussing next?
So I know we were talking about either this, or what was it? Hard, or I almost said Hard Boiled Wood. Uh, uh,
Hardboiled Wood.
a Wind Up Bird. That's what I
Yeah,
said.
Wind Up
And
Bird Chronicle.
yeah, I remember, because we didn't do it for a while, and I remember it took me so long to finish that for some reason,
Yeah,
and I was in a short little slump. I guess my
yeah.
slumps are like, I usually read like 30 pages. I was reading like 10 every night, and I just felt like I wasn't getting anywhere with it. So
Oh, okay.
maybe if you want to do that one, I don't know. I guess we should indulge sometime soon, readers and other authors, maybe, if we want to do it. But uh, I don't know, guys. It's
Yeah.
called Convo by the Shore. I mean, you're getting what you get right here. So,
So, once we finished to discuss all other books of Murakami,
all right, that's good. Listen, these are good
then
times.
then we can maybe dive
Oh, you hurting
into
their
other.
feelings. We're
Maybe.
hurting
Just joking. Just
their
joking.
feelings. We'll figure
Um,
it out.
maybe we can also talk about uh, the books that have been written about him. Like,
Oh yeah, I definitely vocation as a novelist. I've read
yeah, yeah.
that. Yeah,
No, no. Of course, we will discuss some other stuff. We will bring some
right. Books
different
about
stuff
Mark.
in here. We will also discuss some films and some specials.
Yes.
We will also have guests, so don't be afraid, guys. But I mean, it's how many episodes do we have right now? 5 or 6? It's
5 or
fine.
6, yes. Oh, we plug it.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Perfect.
All right. I think we're good for today. It has been a joy to talk with you again.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely. Thank you, man. I needed this. Definitely
yeah,
needed this.
me too. It's like therapy. It's like therapy
Right.
talking to you.
Right. I had a little late morning this morning. I remember telling you last night I was gonna wake up a little earlier, and then I
Hmm.
don't know what it is. I woke up a little later, so I was looking forward to this because yeah, it's been a
Really
long
cool.
week for me. So I'm glad we got this done.
Yeah, me too. Me too. A
Mm.
lot of things on the schedule, but
Yes.
this is just like a really good start into the weekend.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think for the next episode, we won't wait that long again. It
It
has been
sounds
too
good to
long.
me. Absolutely.
Yeah, right. All right. So thanks everyone for listening to us. We hope you had a great time as we did. And leave us a comment, no matter if on Spotify or on Instagram. We're always happy to read your messages. And if you have anything to add or to discuss, if we forgot something, if you have a different opinion, or if it's just feedback for our podcast, please let us know. We're always happy to interact and to talk to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Leo, any message for our dear listeners, not the readers, but listeners?
Thank you. Well, yeah. Thank you guys for just listening and tuning in and just being great yourselves. I'm very grateful, and I like I said, I probably said it before. I wouldn't be doing this, if my guy Sonny didn't pick me up and put me on his back right here, man. So I'm very appreciative of this opportunity, and I love this. I definitely do love this. So thank you
Yeah.
guys for just tuning in and listening to us rant about Murakami. So
Yeah.
very grateful, very grateful.
Thanks to everyone. By the way, we made an accomplishment. We have more than 100 subscribers on Spotify.
Oh,
So
that's nice.
which means we can qualify ourselves for some awards by the end of the year. We couldn't do last year because we were below 100, but now we've passed 120 or 30, I guess. Uh, so we will let you guys know, and we hope that you will vote for us. So
Hey,
we'll see. We'll see. All right. So see you guys next time. Have a
all
good
right,
day. No matter which part of the world you're listening from, never stop reading, and see you soon. Take care.